Hello, my name's Joseph, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. It is the first book in his incredibly popular Wheel of Time series. I have to say, I really enjoyed this book. I was excited to read this. I've been planning to read it for a long time. It's been sitting on my TBR for a while, and I figured with the show coming out relatively soon, I'd go ahead and watch it because I was honestly kind of scared if it got popular, I might get spoiled because of that. Um, just a forewarning, or I guess just a little bit about me. I was into reading a lot when I was younger, but I kind of stopped about midway through high school, and here I am 6 years later, just now getting back into it, and I got back into it with Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives. The Way of Kings really kind of got me back into reading again, and when I found out that he finished the last few books of the Wheel of Time, it definitely kind of drew it to my attention. Uh, and I think it's important to note too that I'm, I guess, relatively inexperienced with adult fiction, or I guess, yeah. Let's get into it. So, I have to say, in this book, and dear God, it is a big book. I mean, I'm excited by how large this series is, and also kind of scared. It's a lot to commit to, but I really enjoy Jordan's writing style. It's very descriptive, and I like that. It's so easy to imagine what all he talks about, and it's so vivid and vibrant. I love the characters. I really like Rand. I like Nineveh. I need to look up how to pronounce that. Perrin and Lan. I'm very excited to learn more about Moiraine. She feels like very much an enigma compared to everyone else, even Lan. Um, but yeah, there were a couple characters I found a little annoying. Matt kind of was annoying throughout the most of the book, although I guess there's an explanation for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. Same with Egwin. I felt like Egwin wasn't there that much. But yeah, overall, I like him. Um, the monsters all seem super cool. I really dig the way the Trollocs sound. I was kind of worried going into it that they were just going to be some orc analog just ripped from Tolkien, but they're almost like sort of like an animal version of orcs, except I know that they're human based animal things. I think it's cool that they all have different appearances based on like what clan they are, and they all kind of are based on different animals. Fades sound and just seem awesome and terrifying. Pale have our pale fully blind man who can walk around and ride on a horse with his clothes not moving at all just seems very unsettling. Um, and then the dark friends are interesting. Um, I definitely want to see more of the Dark One himself. I thought he seemed pretty cool. Definitely more interaction than I would have expected. Just yeah. Uh, it was definitely slower paced. I don't mind that. I like slower burn books. I know that, just for instance, I've seen a lot of people complain about how Oathbringer in the Stormlight Archives is pretty slow paced, and it is, but I really like that. I think it gives you more time to flesh out characters in the world. Um, but there are scenes in this book that are very tense, and it's just like it's go, 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 and like I couldn't put it down when those parts were going on. There was a certain part, like a third of the way through the book, I stayed up reading from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. And, this has been a book that has affected my sleeping, which is, I think, always a good sign. Um, I again, I'm not that experienced a reader. I see, I've read Lord of the Rings, and I can see how people will compare this and say it's derivative. But in that same vein, I think almost all relatively modern fantasy, at least that I've read, is fairly derivative of it. Obviously, there's plenty out there that isn't, but it's, one of those stepping stones of fantasy. It's the foundation on which modern fantasy is built. There being similarities, they don't bother me that much. I still really enjoyed it. There were enough differences to where I didn't think it was just some blatant ripoff. And I've heard that the series really differentiates from Lord of the Rings as time goes on, so excited to see where that goes. My biggest complaint, and I can't talk about it much just because trying to keep this spoiler free, is the ending felt very abrupt. And I know that it's part one of 14 or 15 if you're including the prequel. So obviously there's more going on there, but it wasn't like, where Fellowship of the Ring ends on a cliffhanger. It's not like cliffhangery ending. It actually felt like a relatively complete ending, but it felt like the last few chapters of the book, if you say the rest of the book is like a steady, 50 to 60 miles per hour, the ending of the book is like 200 miles per hour, and it's not in a Sanderslanch way. Any Brandon Sanderson fans will know of the Sanderslanch. It just felt like things moved too quickly in comparison to the rest of the book, and it resolved itself really fast. But overall, not the biggest hurdle for me to overcome. But yeah, that being my biggest, really only main issue with the book, means I'm thrilled to see where this series goes. Because I have no idea. I'm really lucky that I haven't been spoiled at all, and it's kind of crazy to me how long this series is, because this was a lot of book, and the rest of them, just looking at my collection over there, like that's a lot of book to get through. And something, and this is me just talking about the show, something interesting I noticed, reading through it, and I noticed it mostly because I'd seen the backlash from some people. Not most people seemed fine with it, on the casting of certain characters online. I don't really see why people are like having an issue with the race of what people are, when most of the people barely even have descriptors of their skin color in the book. I think I saw like a couple of things like talking about how I think Egwin was relatively dark skinned, like Nineveh. But other than that, everyone else is up in the air, so I don't see why it would be an issue. And this is clearly like a setting that's drawing from more than just European fantasy. There seems to be a lot of, Eastern elements to it too, and I have a feeling just with the latter parts of the book that's gonna get extended on even more. So I don't know, seemed really weird to me. The casting seems pretty cool. The trailers look awesome. I'm excited to watch the show, although I'm kind of hoping to finish more of the books before that happens, because I have a feeling they're going to draw from later ones. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do numbers as a scoring on this channel regularly. I don't know if I want to do that. This is first video. But if I had to score this, I'd say like a tentative 8. Maybe no, a strong 8. I feel like it's a good start. I want to see where it goes. But yeah, I'm excited to read the rest. Currently reading The Great Hunt right now. And yeah, I'm hoping to finish the series before the end of the year, but we'll see. It's a lot. Yeah, that's my review. Yeah,